Hey everybody, thanks for coming to the Omets Peak Watershed Alliance 2025 Youth Conservation Corps presentation. We are an organization that provides youth with outdoor work experience, education, and connection in the workforce. This summer, we worked on 5 properties, including Tanya Chapira, the Martinez family, the McLeod property, and more.
Before the crew started work this summer, they received a training in wilderness first aid, earning a certificate, and preparing them for situations they may encounter in the field. The crews were also given an introduction to watersheds and watershed restoration trainings, where they learned what a watershed is, how it works, why it is important to protect. Project manager Patrick Suquedes led a tour at the La Placita fire station in Guaymas, New Mexico.
The Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire burned hundreds of thousands of acres and decimated trees and native vegetation. Soil in the upper watershed erodes faster and worsens the effects of flooding. As a result, the HPWA shifted its focus from watershed monitoring to soil erosion prevention and restoration. Hermit's Peak Watershed Alliance has utilized the Youth Conservation Corps as their forerunner in this work.
The Youth Conservation Corps, also known as the YCC, is a state program funded to employ youth aged 14 to 25 in conservation projects that help their local community. That is where we come in. The HPWA YCC has helped prevent soil runoff from Sapio, Galinas, Mora, and Tecolote watershed.
We've collaborated with other organizations' YCC crews like RiverSource, New Mexico Acequia Association, and Forest Stewards Guild. With these organizations, we seeded bare ground with native plants, built soil erosion control structures, and reforested by planting thousands of ponderosa pine saplings.
We collaborated with the Rio Gallinas Charter School to monitor the Gallinas River's health by collecting and identifying macroinvertebrates. Macroinvertebrates are an indicator species for stream health because they are highly susceptible to pollution and sediment deposition. We also provided support in educating kids on how to collect and identify these macroinvertebrates.
When planting ponderosa pine saplings, we need saplings, a planting bar, a planting bag. Saplings are placed into the bag to transport them to the proper location. When a suitable spot is chosen, the planting bar is placed straight into the ground and pried back to create a slot. The saplings can go into. The saplings is placed. The planting bar is used to close the hole, ensuring roots have contact with soil and removed air pockets.
Another important part of our work this summer was seeding. Seeding can help to lock a structure in place and prevent erosion. By seeding on top of the structures, we promote plant growth in channel beds. Aside from seeding our structures, we also seeded bare spots of ground with no vegetation. The seeds we use are a mixture of oats and native seeds. By seeding with oats, we provide a cover crop for native seeds to then take over. If seeding bare ground, we rake the seeds in the soil to ensure soil contact, using straw or pine dust for mulch if available.
While our collaborations included planting, our main work this summer was building structures. We have chosen to present 4 of the most common structures. These include trash racks, one-rock dams, zuni bowls, and rock rundowns.
Trash racks are used to collect sediment and build the channel bed and slow floodwater. The first step is to place a tree across the channel, using a stump or boulder on either side to anchor it in place. More trees are then cut to form a ramp on the upstream side, carefully placed at a shallow enough angle that they cannot be flipped by floodwaters. Logs are rotated to minimize gaps, and any remaining gaps are filled with brush or smaller branches. The bottom of the ramp should be armored with rocks to prevent water from pushing the logs out of place. The trash rack is then stuffed with slash, leftover logs, and rocks to prevent downcutting in front of the structure.
A rock rundown is used to prevent further erosion and stabilize a channel bed by slowing water. Rock rundowns are placed in channel beds or head cuts with a gentle slope. Too steep of a slope may cause water to push rocks out of place. First, the site of a rundown must be leveled as much as possible. Next, large, flat rocks are laid in an interlocking pattern within the channel bed. Care should be taken at the head of the structure to ensure rocks will not be pushed downstream by flood events. Smaller rocks can be used to fill gaps and make the structure more stable. The structure should be then tested by walking across it and ensuring no rocks are loose.
A Zuni bowl is used to control head cuts and channels. It helps slow the flow of water and promotes plant growth. We place them in naturally bowl-shaped areas in a channel. First, a splash pad is created at the downstream end of the bowl. This is created in the same way as the splash pad for a one-rock dam. A trench is dug and large rocks are laid into it in an interlocking pattern. Another row of rocks is laid overlapping the splash pad to provide a pour-over for the bowl. The bottom of the bowl must then be lined with rocks to create a plunge pool. After the plunge pool is created, rocks can be stacked on the sides of the bowl to the level of the rest of the ground, ensuring that no higher rocks overlap lower ones to ensure stability. This helps to slow water flow by creating natural steps. Any loose rocks should be supported by chinking with smaller rocks. It helps to walk across the structure to check for loose rocks and ensure stability when the Zuni bowl is finished.
One-rock dams are used to collect sediment, stabilizing the channel. In slowing the flow of water, this helps to reconnect channels to their floodplain and promote plant growth. To build a one-rock dam, we first dig a shallow trench across the channel bed and lay down large interlocking rocks to create a splash pad. The splash pad catches water that flows over the dam and prevents further erosion. Flat rocks are book stacked, overlapping the splash pad. Additional rows are stacked behind this, usually 4 to 5. Further rows gradually decrease in height so water flows over them. The structure is then chinked with smaller rocks to prevent erosion. We walk across the structure to make sure no rocks are loose.
Oops.
Our YCC crews completed a variety of work this summer, including tree planting, erosion control structure building, and seeding and mulching. We worked with other YCC crews such as River Source, Forest Stewards Guild, and New Mexico Acequia Association to help us do this work. We believe it is important to help the community impacted by the fire and flooding, and we are grateful for this opportunity. Thank you for coming to our presentation, and we hope you learned something.
Good movie.